Finnegans Wake by James Joyce. Publisher's note: Finnegans Wake is a work which takes allusion to new and still unsurpassed extremes, but is the text of the wake itself, rather than the referencing of its elusiveness, that is the first fascination of Joyce's last great work. And it is the text alone that is presented here in the complete novels of James Joyce. The reader who wishes to access the wealth of annotative literature relating to the wake must turn to an edition of the text in its traditional format. The Wordsworth edition, Finnegans Wake, Wordsworth Classics Ware 2012, which uniquely gives line numbers, book and episode numbers on each page, is perhaps the most convenient edition of the wake to use in tandem with the referencing system employed in the critical and annotative literature. This latter includes such classics as James S. Atherton, The Book of the Wake, a study of literary allusions in James Joyce Finnegans Wake, 1959, Louis O. Mink, O. Finnegans Wake, Gazetta, 1978, by Adelaide Glasheen, Third Census of Finnegans Wake, an index of the characters and their roles, third edition, 1977, and a Wake News Litter. The journal, which ran from 1962 to 1984, the standard synthesis of these extraordinary efforts to unpick the wake is Roland McHugh's Annotations to Finnegans Wake, revised edition 1991. Book 1. River Run, past Eve and Adams, from swerve of shore to bend of bay, bring us by a commodious recess of circulation back to Howth Castle and Erevons. Sir Trinson, Riola d'Amours, Riova, the shore sea, had Passancourt, re-arrived from London on Morica on the side of the scraggy isthmus of Europe Minor, to the Welder fight, his peninsulate war, nor had Topsawyer's rocks by the stream Oconee exaggerated themselves to Lauren's country's gorgeous, while they went doubling their mumper all the time. Nor Avoyce from Afire bellowed mish to Tortoff thwart Pierrick. Not yet, though Venesoon after a kid scad buttoned a bland old Isaac. Not yet, though all's fair in Venesey, where Sozy Caesar's Rofe with Twone, Nathan Joe, rot a peck of Par's malt and gem and chen brewed by Arclight and Rory End to the Regan brows to be seen ringsome on the aquaface. The fall, this is in brackets now, this is a very long word, Baba Badagalaga Takmamin Narun Con Brontona Ron Tuon Trova Hun Yuskan Tuhu or Denen Fernuk, exclamation mark, close brackets. Although once Wall Straight old Potter is retold early in bed and later on life down through all the Christian minstrelsy, the great fall of the off-wall entrailed as such short notice the pervious shoots of Finnegan, ere solid man, that of the Humpty Hillhead of humble self, promptly sends an unquiring one well to the west in the quest of his Tumpty-Tumtos, and their upturned pike point in place is at the knock out the park, where oranges have been laid to rust upon the greens since the Devlins first loved Livy. What clashes here of wills Jen wants, oystery gods, gagging, fishy gods, reckon, keckin, peckin, quokes, ulu, 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 where the Badaleries partisan are still out to Mathmaster, Malachus, migraines and verdons, catapulting the cannon ballistics out of the whitey voice of Hoodie Head, Daisy Gates and Boomering Stroms, sods, brood beaming my beaming fear, apostrophe, slangerians save, apostrophe, arms appeal with alarms appalling, killy, atoll, what chance cuddlies, what cashels aired and ventilated, what Billy Bentol's induced by what Tago tab solvers, what true feeling for their hey air, with what storing voice of false Jacob. Oh, hear how Hoth sprawled, not the dusk, the father of the fornicationists, but, oh, my shining stars and body, apostrophe, that last paragraph in brackets. How hath Fan Spain, most high heaven, the sky sign of soft advertisement, apostrophe, but was is, question, is you it, question, ere we sewers, question. The oaks of old now they lie in peat, yet elms leap where asks lay. Foul if you but will, rise you must, none so soon either shall the farce, the nunce come to a set down, secular, Freenish, big Mester Finnegan of the stuttering hand, Freeman's Mora, lived in the broadcast way, immarginable, and his rule lit too far back for the messages before Joshuan, Judges has given us numbers, or Helviticus committed Deuteronomy, in brackets 1 yeasty day, he sternly struck his teat in a tub for watch the future of his fates, but ere he swiftly took it out again by might of Moses, the very water was evaporated, and all the Guinnesses had met their exodus, so they ought to show you what a pension juicy chap he was, apostrophe, and a bracket. So that was all in bracket, starting from 1 yeast day. And during mighty odd years, this man of hod, cement, and edifices, in Topher's thorpe, piled Bildung, Supra, Bildung, Pon, the banks for the livers by the so, Eadl, Liddle, Fifi, Annie, Ugged, the little Craythor, whither, here, in Hans took up your part in her, oft-while Balbulus, Mithri ahead, with goodly trowel and grasp and ivor-roiled overalls which he habitually fancied like Haroun Childeric Egibirth. He would caligulate with multiples the multitude, until he seesaw a nightlight of the liquor, where 'twas born, his round head staple of other days, to rise in undress, masonry, upstandard, in brackets, joy, grant it. apostrophe, end bracket, comma, a Walworth of sky escape of most Eiffel Hoyth, entirely erringinating from next to nothing and celescalating the himmels and all, and hierarchical ploptical with a burning bush above of its bulb atop, and with larens, o'toolas clittering up the tumbles of buckets clattering down. Of the first he was to bear arms and a name, was Azali, Bouslow of Reisenburg. His crest of holdery invert with anselors, trublant, argent, a hegoak, poursuivant, horrid, horned, his scutcheon fest with arches strung, helio of the second. Hooches for the husbandman, handling his hoe. Ho, 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 Mr. Finn. You're going to be Mr. Finnegan, apostrophe. Comde, morn, and, comma, oh, your vine, apostrophe. Sunday's even, your vinegar, apostrophe. Ha, 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 Mr. Fun. You're going to be fined again, apostrophe. What then agent like brought about this tragedy thunders day, this municipal sin business? Question. Our cube house still rocks as ear witness to the thunder of his Artifice, but we hear also through successive ages that Chevy, Shoriush of unqualified muzzle lemonies, mizzlims that would blackguard eyes the white stone of a turtled out of heaven, stay for wherever in our search for tight yesness. Oh, substainer, what time we rise, we take up to toothneck, and before we lump down upon our leather bed in the night at the fading of our stars, of the stars. Scratch that hour of the stars. Exclamation. For a nod to the nabier is better than wink to the wabsanti. Other ways, west ways, like the provost scoffing, Bedouin, the Jebel, and the Gypsy sea, crop herb, the crunch bracken shall decide, then we'll know if the feast is a fly day. She has a gift of seek on sight, and she all casually answers helpers, the dreamy dearie, heed apostrophe, it may half been a misfired brick, comma, as some say, comma, or is it more than being due to a collapsus of his back promises, comma, as others looked at it, bracket, there extend by now 1,001 stories, comma, all told, comma, of the same, full stop, end bracket. But so sore did Abbey it, Ivies, Holleride, Abels, comma, start bracket, what with the Warhol's horrors of Rolls Royce, comma, car hacks, comma, Stoningans, comma, kiss veins, comma, tram trees, comma, Fargo bowlers, comma, auto kinotons, comma, hippo hobblies, comma, street fleets, comma, torn in taxes, comma, megafogs, comma, circuses and warwards, moats and ballast kirks and aero paygods and the hoys and the jolly brule and the peeler and the coat and the Meckelbert bitch bite at his ear and the Merlin Borough Burrocks and his 4 old poor courts, the boars, the moor, comma, and his black working stacks of 12 pins, the dozen and the newbie buses, slading along Safety First Street, and the Derry Jelly Belly boys snooping around. Tell no tailors, tell no tailors, with a apostrophe at the end of tailors, corner, and the fumes and the hopes and the stirrup hump of his vials, indigenous, roam keepers, comma, home sweepers, comma, dome creepers, comma, Thurum and Thurum in fancy mud, Moramud, and all the uproar from the off roofs, comma, a roof for May, and a reef for Hubert under his bridge, suits Tony, end of bracket. One warning, filt, tippling, full. His Howard field heavy, comma, his hoddit did shake, full stop. Bracket, there was a wall of course in erection, close bracket. Dim, apostrophe. He stuttered from the latter, full stop. Damn, apostrophe. He was dud, full stop. Dumb, apostrophe. Master Batum, comma, Master Bad Tom, comma, when a mon marries his lute is all long, for the whole world, full stop, for the whole world to see, full stop. Shizzy question, I should she, apostrophe, Macul, comma, Macul, comma, Aura, why, deed ye, deed die, question, of a trying Thursday morning, question, sobs they sided as Finnegans Chrysomis wake, comma, all the hooligans of the nation, comma, prostrated in their consternation in their duodismally profusive plethora of ululation, full stop. There was plums and grooms and sheriffs and siverers and raiders and cinnamon too, full stop. And the ill gained in with the shoutmost joviality, full stop. Agog, and Magog, and the ground of them agrog, to the continuation of the celebration until Handy Hunnigan's extermination, apostrophe. Some in kinkin chorus, more cankin keening, full stop, belling him up and filling him down. He's stiff, but he's steady in prying balling. 'Twas he was the dacent, the gay labouring youth, sharpen his pillow scone, tap up his hair, ear aware, in this wall would ye hear sick a din again, with the deep brow fundigs and the dusty fidelios. They laid him broad on a langlast bed, with a groccolips of Finnisky, force's feet, and a barrow load of Gurnesis, Power's head, and see the total of the fluid hanging, the twaddle of the fuddled O. Hurrah! Theresis! But young glaive for the owl globe wheels in view, which in tautologically the same thing. Well, him, a being, so on the flounder of his bulk like an overgrown babbling. Let we peep, see, at hum, well, see, PG, ought his ought. Platter plate, inverted E, hum, apostrophe. From Shopolis to Bailiwick, or from Ashton to Baranoth, or from by the banks to the round the head, or from the foot of the bill to the Eriglint's eye, he calmly extemulize, and all but away a horn from a fjord to a fjell, from bay winds, oh, bo, shall wail him, rock bound. Oh, oh, oh. In swim, swam, and all the livelong night, the Daldale, dappling night, the night of Blueberry bells, his flitter flute, in tricky trochees, O Karina, wake him, with the Isovans, and with Jack Martins about all them in inns and houses, tiling a teal of a tum, telling a toll of a teary turty, tobbling, grace before gluten, for what we are, gifts as gross as we are, about to believe. So pull the beg and pass the kish for Crawsay, Omen, so Sias, Grandpapas is fallen down, but Brinny spreads the brood, waste on the joint of the dash, Finny from the fush, waste be his bacon head, a loaf of Sing Pantry's Kennedy's bread, and waste hitched to the hop in his tail, the glass of Danu Donald's famous old Dobbelin ale. But low as you would quaff off his fraud stuff and sink teeth through the pith of the flower-white bodie, behold of him, as Baymoth as he is no Wemo, Finesci, only a photograph of the yestern scene, almost rubicund, Salmosala, ancient, from out the ages of the Agamemnon deities. He is smelten in our midst. Woe be canned and packed away, so that meals deal off for sunman, schlook, schleiss, and Godrig hearing. Yet we may not see the still of the bronch Teothane form outside unslumbered, even in our night time by the sedge of the travelling stream that Bronto loved, and Bronto has a lean on. Hic cobat edilis apun libertanum volum. What if she be in flags or flitters, reekier rags or Sunday yeshozis with a mint of mines or beggar a penny weight? Ah, sure. We all love little Annie Rooney. Or we mean to say love little Annie Rainey. When under her brella med puddle, she ninny grows, nanny grows, nancying by. Yo, Brontolone slaps, yo, snores, before Bren Heather and Seeple, eye suit, too. The chronic head on him, caster of his reasons, peer, youthner, in yond mist, woof, his clay feet swarded in verdigras, stick up stark, where he last fell him by the mund on the magazine wall, where our Maggie's seen all, with her sister in shawl, while over against this belly's alliance, Bayind ill 60, Allowode ill, backsides of the fort, Tarabom, lurk the omnibushes of the sight, the lifing in wait, the upjock, and hot hums. Hence when the clouds roll by Jamie, the proud's eye view is enjoyable of our Moundings mass, now Wallingstone, National Museum, within some greenish distance the charmful Waterloo's country, and the two quite white villagettes who here show of themselves so gigglesomes, minxed, the foliages, the petalies, penetrators are permitted into the museum mound free, Welsh in the paddy Partinkinses, one Shellenk, reduced members, invalids of all guards, find Poposai Pam to Satay, the sort of their butt for her passkey supply to the janitrix, the mistress Cathy Tip. This was the way to the music room. Mind your hats grown in. Now years are in the Willingdone Music Room. This is Prussia's gun. This is Fringe. Tip. This is the flag of the Prussias, the cap and Sorcerer. This is the bullet and that bing, the flag of the Prussias. This is the Fringe, the fire on, the bull, that bang, the flag of the Prussias. Salute the cross gun. Up with your fight, pike and fork. Tip, bull's foot, fine. This is the triple worn hat of Napoleon. Tip, Napoleon hat. This is the Willingdone of the same white horse, the Cokenhape. This is the big Strouter Willingdone, grand and magentic in his golden tinned spurs and his iron ducks, and his quarter brass woody shoes and his magnates, garters and Bangkok's best and Goliards, galoshes and his Pulpusesian war trows. This is his big white harsh tip. This is the 3 Napoleon boyne grouching down in the living ditch. This is an Ineamus skilling Inglis. This is the Scotcher grey. This is a Davy stooping. This is the bog Napoleon, mordering the Napoleon bag. A Gallowalger's augment. This is the pity Napoleon boy that was nath the bag nor bug. I sigh, Tushol Fitz Tumush, Dirty Macdyke, and Hairy O'Hurry, all of them ominous, vaminous. This is Delian Alps. This is Mont Tiggle. This is Mont Tipsy. This is Grand Mons Injum. This is the Crimea line of the Alps hooking to the shelter shock. The 3 Napoleons, this is the Ginnies with their Leghorns fainting to read in their handmaid's book of astrology while making their war undersides the Willingdone. The Ginnies is a coon in her hand and the Ginnies is a raven in her hair and the Willingdone get the band up. This is big Willingdone, memorial tallow scoop, wounder worker, obsidies on the flanks of the Ginnies, Sexcalibur, hero's power, tip. This is me, Belcham, sneaking his Philippi out of his most. Awful grimaced Shunshat, Cromwelly, looted. This is the Ginnies, Hastings dispatch, for to irrigate the Willingdone, dispatch and did red lines. Cross the shore front of me, Belcham, your leaper author, fierce Sagan, field gaze, thy tiny frown, hug acting, nah. That was the tic-tacs of the Ginnies, for the Fontani of the Willingdone. She, the Ginnies is Gilius, again courting all the Napoleons, and the Napoleons is gone boy cotton crazy onto the Willingdone, and the Willingdone get the band up. This is Bode Belcham, bonnet to Busby, breaking a secret word with a ball up his ear up to the Willingdone. This is the Willingdone's herald, dispitched back, disployed of the regions rare of me Belcham, Salamangra. Aye, cherry Ginnies, fig tree you, down Ferry Ann, Voltra, Willingdone. That was the first joke of Willingdone, tick for tack. This is me Belcham in the 12th mile. Cow chooks, wheat tweet, and stand forth foremost, footing the camp for the Ginnies. Drink a sip, drank us up, for he's as sooner buy a Guinness than he'd stale store stout. This is Ruishi balls, this is Trinch, this is Mistletoes, this is Cannon Fodder with the poppy pace. After his 100 days indulgence, this is the blessed. Tara's widows, this is Ginnies in the bony born bluches, this is Napoleons in the rowdy houses, this is the Willingdone by the splinters of cork, order fire, Tonary, Ballseer, play, this is Camp Mallory, this is Floodins, this is Sulphurines in action, this is Maud Delim, this is Panic Burns, Amigarda. Atheist too loose, this is Willingdone cry, broom, come broom, this is Ginny's cry, underwetter, goat strips, Finnegans, this is Ginny running away to the Osterlist Doan at Bunker Shields with a nippy nip and a trippy trip so airy for the heart's right hip tip. This is me Belcham's tinker you. Thank you, silver plate, for crinching the crates from the cool of his canister. Pour the pay, this is the Bismarck of the marathon. Merry of the Ginnies they left behind them, this is the Willingdone Branlish. His same memorial tallow scoop, Sophie Key poem for his royal devotion of the Rinaway Ginnies. Gambarist, Della, Porca, Delabares, Bimaras. This is the prettiest of the Napoleons, Toffee Fee, that spy on the Willingdone from his big white horse. The Capian Hog, Stonewall Willingdone is an old Maxine Montrumany. Napoleon's is nice hung, Bushellers. This is High Hennessy, laughing out in the Willingdone. This is Lipsick, Dooley, Craiging, the funk with the Hennessy. This is the Hindu shimmer shin between the Dooley boy and Hennessy tip. This is Wixie, old Willingdone, picket up the half of the three-foiled hat of Napoleon's fromode of the bundle filth. This is Hindu waxing Ranji mad for a bonds shube. This is the Willingdone hanking the half of the hat, Napoleon's up the tail on the buck side of his big white horse tip. That was the last joke in Willingdone. Hit. This is the same white horse of the Willingdone, Copenhelp, waggling his tail o' screw. The half of the hat of Napoleon's to insulted the Hindu sea boy. Nay. Bull's rag fowl. This is the sea boy, mad rash Shataris, Upjung and Pumbin. Cry to the Willingdone. Ap, Pukaru, Puka, Yarup. This is the Willingdone, born stable, gentleman. Kinders in his matchbox to the Kurisagan, Shimashin, Basuka, Usted. This is the door for him, sea boy, blow the whole of the half of the hat of Napoleon's off the top of the tail of the back of his big wide horse. Tip, bullseye, game, how Copenhagen ended. This was the music room, mind your boots, going out. Phew. What a warm time we were there, but how Kellings is here, the airabouts. We know where she lives, but you mustn't tell anyone. The lamp of a jig lantern. It's a candle little house of a month and one windies. Down a down, aye down a down, and numbered, quaintly mine, and such reasonable weather too. The wagrant winds, a waltz, Zara round, the pilt downs, and on every blasted Canolly rock, if you can spot 50, I spy 4 or more. There's that gnarly bird, a gathering, a run a little, do a little, free a little, pour a little, wipe a little, kicks a little, sever a little, eat a little, whine a little, ken a little, health a little, garny bird, the very tableland of bleak-barred fields. Under his 7 Rothschilds lie 1 Lumpur, his glaff toe-side him, scud, on toast. Our pigeons pair have flown for North Cliffs. The 3 of crows have flapped it, southernly, craking of debacle to the cavaters of that sky whence treeboos answer, wail, 'tis wail. She never comes out when Thon's on shower, or when Thon's flash with his Nixie girls, or when Thon's blowing, tune cracks, down the gale of Thon. No nubo no, nebless of you live. He would be too moochy a feet of burly meleg, and bind her rolling eyes, and all the deed in the woe, thee, foe, fond. She just does hope till buys will be buys, and here it will go on to appear now. She comes a peace fugle, a parody's bird, a perry pot mother, Pringle pick in the Ireland's dit skippy and pee-wee and powwows and beggy baggy on a bicky backy and a flick flask fleck flinging its pixie light in pacts, humour bows, picking here, pecking there, pussy pussy, plunder pussy. But as the Armatides too nigh Militopicus, the two moon we wish for a muddy kiss a man's to the minutiae workers, and there's to be a gorgup's truce. The happiness chilled her everywhere. Come Nebo, we hear Suso sing the day, we Sally Bright. She's borrowed the coach's headlights, the better to pry. He goes cute, goes COQ, and shoes a room, and all spoiled goods into her knapsack. Her trages, and rattling bootins, nappy spatties, and flasks of all nations, clavicures, and scampulas, maps, keys, and wood piles of halfpennies and moonlight brooches with blood-stained boots in and boasted night garters and masses of shoe sets and nickel knacks and fodder, all Michael, a lovely parson of Kates and howitzer, munchies and midges and maggots, hills and ells with lofts, toffs and pleurs of bells, and the last sight come through the heart, buckle-eyed, and the fairest sin the sun saw, that's it, with kiss, kiss, Chris, cross, Chris, Chris, cross, undo lives, end, slain. How beautiful, and how true to wife of her when strangely forbidden to steal our historic presents from the past, post-propheticals, so as to will make us all lordy hares and lady mistresses, a pretty nice kettle of fruit. She is living in our midst, of debt and lathing, through all claws for us. Her birth is uncontrollable, with a napper on for her mask, and her sabots kicking arias, so sere, so solly. If yous ask me, I sack you. Ho ho, Grix may rise and Troyes fall, there being two sights for every a picture, for in the byways of high improvidence, that's what makes life worth leaving, and the world's a cell for sighters to sit in, to kiss the sea, skitting. Young women run away with the story and let young men talk smooth behind the butler's back. She knows her night's duty while Luntum sleeps. Did she see? Did ye save any tin? Says he. Did I what? With a grin, says she. With a what? Grin, says she. And we all like a marry dam because she is a mercenary. Though the length of the land lies under liquidation, flute, and there's ne'er a hairbrow, nor an eye-brush of this gold-brushed face of Herreshoff. What of a welter? She'll loan a Vesta and hire some peat and sarch, the shores her cockles to heat, and she'll do all the turf or Lincoln to piff the business on, pay to puff, to blazing us on, puff, puff, and even if Humpty shall fall, Frumpty times its awkward again, and the beards booze along of all our grand remonstrances. There'll be eggs for the breakers, come to the mourn him, sunny side up with care. So true it is that there ne'er wears a turnover, the tay is wet too, and when you think catch sight in the hind, make sure that you're cocked by a hin. Then, as she is on her behaviourite job of acquaintance, bandy, footing for firstlings and taking her teeth, we may take our review of the two mounds to see nothing of the himples, hear it elsewhere by sixes and sevens, like so many he-gills and co-lines, sit in a root, skint-breeched, pants on pottery, in their swish-wash satins and their taffy-taff tights, playing Wharton's folly at a tree purty on the plankto in the perk, Stand up, Mikos, make straight for Minas. By order, Nicholas Proud, we may see and hear nothing if we choose of the short-legged Bergens off Cork Hill, or the Bergamoors of Arbour Hill, or the Bergamogambles of Summer Hill, or the Bergensellies of Misery Hill, or the country bossed Bergens of Constitutional Hill, though every crowd has its several tones and every trade has its clever mechanics and each harmonical has a point of its own. Olaf's on the rise and Ivor's on the lift and Citrix place between them. But they are all there scraping along to sneeze out a likelihood that will solve himself life's robulus rebus, hopping around his middle like kippers on a griddle. Oh, he lays dormant from the macroborg, of hold hard in the microberg, of pied depodry. Oh, the sound of Irish sense, really. Here, English might be seen, royally. One sovereign pund to Petri, pence, regally. The silence speaks the scene, fake. So this is Deutschland, hush, caution, Eckerland. How charmingly exquisite, it reminds you of the outwashed engravure that we used to be blurring in the botch wall of his inkent house. Used they? I'm sure that the tiring chabble shower with the musical chocolate box, Myrie Mitchell, is listening. I say the remains of the outworn Gravenmuir were used to be blurried, the patrolmans, the incubus. Used we? He is only pretendant to the struggling of the Jubilee harp. From a second existed listener, fiery, farrily, it is well known. Lock for himself, and see the old Butte new Dublin, WKOO here, by the Morsaline wall. Fim, with a grand fun for all. Fum. 'Tis Optophone, which Optophanes list, Wheatstone's magic lair. There will be tuggling for river, there will be the lichening for aloft, there will be pre-tumbling for over, the hops, discord shall be theirs for olaves. Four things therefore, saith our herodatory Mammon, Lugius and his grand old Histor, Rurum, wrote near Aurium, Bluus, Book in the Bales Annals, FT, in Diffinarski, near Salfale Till, Heather Smoke and Cloudweed, Iris, Ill Sail Pale, and here now they are the fear of Totitais, Unum Adder, a Bulban boss surmounted upon an alderman, aye, dumb mism, a shoe on a poor old wobbin, ho, Troyum, Tasmus, an outborn Madri O'Brien, a bride to be desarted, our dear, quodlibus, marchibus, and ban, a pen, no weightier, not a pole post, and so, and all suku. So how idle as wind, turning pages on pages, as innocents with Anacleto play Popeye, Antipope, the leaves of the living, and both the deeds, annals themselves, timing the cycles of events, grand, national, bring facile wise to the past how. 1132 AD, men like to ants or emmets wondering upon a groot-wide whale fist, which lay in a runel, blubby wares, uphat, uplanium. 566 AD, on Balfire's night of this year's after deluge, a crone that had a wicked kish, for the hail dead tunes from the bog Lukit under the bay of her kish, that she ran for a sofa-fusion, her curiosity in being soul, but she found herself sackful of swart, goody, quick and shoe, and small ilgrim brogues, so rich and sweet, blurry works at Hundlesford, silent. 566 AD. At this time it felt out that a Brosenlot damsel grieved, sober solus, because the puppet Herminian was ravished of her by the ogre Propius, pious. Bloody wars in Baliang, Gatli, Bali. 1132 AD. 2 sons at an hour were born, until a Goodman and his hag. These sons called themselves Cadi and Primus. Primus was a santry man and drilled all decent people. Cadi went to Winehouse and wrote a piece, a farce, blotty words for Dublin. Somewhere apparently in the Gindingo gap between Intendivilius and Anna Dominant, the copyist must have fled with his scroll. The billy flood rose, or an elk charged him, or the Sutrup world-right of the Excelsior most empty green Bolton, some earth spake of the Danamen, Gallus banged, Pam, Bliddy Jiran, a scribicide, and there is a lead off under Old's code with some fine covered by 6 marks of 9 pins in metal men for the sake of his labour's gross. While it will be only now and again in our rear of our era as an offshoot of military and civil engagements that a gynecure was let onto the scaffold for taking the same fine sum covertly by meddlement with drawers of the neighbour's safe. Now, after all the far-fetched and the peregrinum ding-dam of the clear lift, we are eyes of the darkness, from the tone of Liber, Nividus, and toe, how paisibly ironical, all dimmering dunes and glomering glades, self-stretches afore, or our Fedlands plain, lean neath stone pine in the pasture, lies with his crook, young pricket, by Pricket's sister, Nibbler, on returned viridities, amid her rocking grasses, the herb trinity shams, lowliness, sky up, is of ever grey. Thus too, the donkey years. Since the bouts of Hebia and Hairy Man, the cornflowers have been staying at Ballymon. The dusk roses choose the Goatstown hedges. Tulips have pressed to gather them by sweet rush. Townland of twined lights, the white thorn and the red thorn have fairy greyed the Malvalleys of Knockamaroon, and though for rings round them during a chiliad of perilously gangs, the 4 Morians have whittled the tooth of the Danes, and the Oxman has been pestered by the firebugs and the joints that have thrown up Jerry building to the Kevinses, and the little on the green it's Charles' father to the city, year, in laughed tears. These pack-sealing buttonholes have quadrilled across the centuries and waft to us, fresh and made of all smiles, as on the eve of Killahu. The babblers with their fangous vein have been Confucian, hold them. They were and went, and figgling thugs and the hoon hymn song-toms were comely norgals, were a polyful fiances. Men have paused, clerks have circumscribed the bond, the blonde has sought off the broom, elk's kiss though may mean Kerry Piggy, and the dunkler dames have countered with the hellish fellows, who Wales tongue, poddy a space of dumb dill silly, and they fell among one another, and themselves have fallen, and still now in nights, and by nights, of the do all bold floras, of the field to the triumphant lovers, who say only, call me ere I will to thee, and but a little later, pluck me whilst I blush, or maybe thou wilt marry and profusely blush, each betrothed. For that saying is as old as the Howitts, leave a whale a while in a wheelbarrow, isn't it the truth I'm tailing ye? Question. To have fins and flippers that shimmy and shake, Timmy can, tempt here, tempting, tam, flippity, yee-pow, hop. In the name of Annan, this Carl and the Tkochi, in pelted thongs apart flowed, who the Joe bigger be he, foreshapen his pig-made hogshead, shrunk his plod's foot. He hath lock-toes, this short things, and obial, this pectoral, his mamma muscles most mysterious, it's slaking, nudging out something, brains pan. You see with the dragon man, he's almost on the keep feet, I hear, his constable, sackshine, the juniper or February, marrocks of Ailbrill, and the ramping riots with Pius and Frias, or a quay-hair sort of mayhem is evident. The Minchin daddy, the oversteppers' fire defences, and these crowds of slit-sucked marrow bones, cave, he can paraposterous the pillowy way of the Hercules pillow. Come on, fool, porterful, hosiered woman, blown monk sewer, excuse us, Charlie guy, your holiday, dance, you tolikif, squeegin, you spiggity Angolese, you're a phonio saxo, clear also, 'tis a jute, let us swoop hats and excheck a few, strong verbs, weak, ouch, ever, yappy hazard, abast the bloody creeks. Jute, Utah, Mutt says, much pleasure ad, Jute, are you Jeff? Mutt, some hard, Jute, but you are not Jeff Mute. Mutt, no, only an utterer. Jute, whoa, what is that mutter with you, Mutt? I begin a stomach. Jute, what a audible thing to be called, how Mutt, about the bottle surd, Jute. Whose puddle wearing, Mutt? The inns are dug at half where used ought to be, he, Jute. You that side your voice are almost inedible to me, come a bit skin more wiseable, as if I were you. Mutt, has that, hastan sorry, were, buru, usser, I trumple, from wrath in mine minds where I rimmer in. Jute, one eye gone black, bisons in bisons, let me fall your hasticus, cross your qualm with trinked guilt. Here have Salavian coin, a piece of oak, guineas, highs, good for you. What? Lowy, how woden I not know it, the intelligible great cloak of Cedric's silly shag, Sadie Maley, 40 rices for one dabbling bar, old grizzly grousely, he was poached on in that eggy tickled spot. Here where the liveries monoed mark, there were the Mrs. Moon, Minican Pass, Bay. Jute, simply because the tap-turned pre-tells were wrong story short now, he dumped the wheelbarrow of rubbages onto soil here. Mutt, just how puddle stone into the brook cells in Rutherpool. Jute. Load off, Moshy. We'd work for a Norse like. What? Sumula with a ball of hot turf. Rooks, roaring, Rex, running. I could snort to him with the spunny horn. With his roar seaside in by the neck. I am Sutton on to Brian D. of Lynn. Jute. Willie Doyle was right on me when I can burely forstand a weird from Stirk to Finnick, and such a pat what to Rotterdam rotter, unheard and unseen. Good aftermeal, see you do. What? Quite a green bus of a sec, orchid on dink blink, round with this abusicile, and your skull see how old you plain of my altars, hung free, and ours where one tone to where Wimbrow, to Pee-wee o' the Saltings, where Wilby City by Laura Vishmon, where by the droit of Signory, ice flow from its inn in the beginning, from whose finisheth the point. Let Erin, Rush, Rue, Humora, mere merge, two races, sweet and break, mothering rue, withering, scratch that, hithering, hidden, scratch that, hither, cratching, east gods, their insurgents hence cool at ebb, they requiesce, countlessness of liver stories, and liver stories have never fallen by this plage flick as flow flakes litters from the lift like a vast wizard all the will worlds now all toned to the mound Isgies to Isgies Erd from Erd pride oh pride thy prize jute stench what fired fruit higher under lithe large from the small and every nightlife also the eye strange Babylon the great grand hotel, the Tittle House, Alp on Earwig, drunken on Ild, Lycius, equal to Anqual, and the sound symmetry, which is Liebes, love, jute, more, moot, Mel Dundon Lees, by the fear wave becoted, despond sung, and Thanak Sestros mound of swollen wall. This author of years is not save brick dust, and being hummus the same road turns. He who runes may read it on all fours. Siesta, Ems dust, TC's dust, crumbling. Tell me soup, fair of humbling, humble lady fair, but speak it up, all softly, siftly, moulder, be in your wished, jute, righteous, mute, the gyrant force of the cools with Amni the Fay, jute, how? Mute, here is vice king's grub, jute, wildly, mute, or you estone agent, jute you, jute, or you long saw a stroke thing wood, stoop. If you are A, B, C, D, E minded to this clay book, what curious of signs, please scroop in this Aleph bed. Can you ready since we and thou had it already? Its world, it is the same told of all, many miscegenations, Tickle. It lived und laughed and blowed and left forcing by Thingdome is given to the Medes and Porsons, the mean detail, the loss and the gain of our old Heidenberg in the days when head in clouds walked the earth, in the ignorance that implies impression, knits no ledge, finds the name form, whets the wits, that convey contacts, that sweeten sensation, that drives desire, that adheres to attachment, dog's death, that bitch's birth that entails the insurance of existentiality. But with a rush out of his navel, reaching the Redaros and Ramathon, Terricolas, Vival, young Ulysses, Quirus continues to be quaky, Hatch, Celt, and Eashir, the Port Cois, which so Cassay, the earth crust of all our hours, furrow wards, bagger wards, let yokes in and turn fat. ESA figurines, Pinnicus arming, mounting and arming, bellicose figurines, see here, who thought this little effingy, this will fire thing called flint for all, face of the east, oh I fay, face of the waste, oh you feed, up, wop, and Duncan, inverted F, ace, to the opposite inverted F, ace. What a part so petty does duty to the horse, would soon grow to use them all for a bit. Here, please to stoop, of self-there and crude petty peas of quite peculiar interest, insolittle as they are the pellets that make the tom-tommies payroll, right rank Ragnaroks, and with these rocks, orango tangos wrangled rough and like wrong. Wish it, why did you? Pick it for thorn that duck is the foil like the fool's traitor thrust for vengeance. What a nice old nest makes a midden-hide hoard of objects, olives, beets, Kimmels, dollies, Alfreds, BTs, Cormacs and Daltons, owlets, eggs, and stoop to please. I hear creakish from the page and now quite epsilon, old waddly, woggle, lures, boardworm, a wipo grass, see the snake, warrens every side, our Durban is swarming and sneaks. It came to our island from triangular touch theatre beyond the wet prairie red in the mist of the Cargill, the prohibitive pro-fructs but along landed Paddy Whippingham and his garbage cans cotched in the creeks of the crickler, so Hawthseer, out of man could quick up here. What's that? Some divide and some fill up. But the tally turns around saying balafus and racketeers and bottle loggers, axe on thwacks, X and Y's, one by one, place 1 by 3, ditto on one before. 2 nurses, one make a plausible 3, and hidden behind, starting off with a big bow and 3-leg culvers and ivor grain jadesses with the message in their mouths, and the 100-filled unladen weight of liberum cuta connors would call till all horrors eve. What a meander old tale to unfurl, and what an end in view of squatter and anti-squatter and post-prone, anti-squatter. To say to us is to be every Tim, Nick and Larry, of us sons on the sod, sons, little sons, ye and Lee, little sons, when users not to be every Sue, Sis and Sally of us, doctors of none, accusative and sire, damadam, to infinities. True there was a nil host divos of yet no lump and papier in the waist, and Mike Mountain pen, still groaned for the mices to let flee. All was of ancientry. You gave me a boot, signs on it, and I ate the wind. I quizzed you a quid. For what? And you went to the quad. The world mind is, was, and will be writing its own runes forever. Man on all matters. fall under the ban of inspirational sense for the last milch camel, heart vein throbbing between his eyebrows, was still to moor before the tomb of this cousin Charmaine, where his date is tethered by the palms that is hers. The horn, the drinking, the day of dread are not now. A bone, a pebble, a ram skin, chip them, chat them, cut them up always, leave them to Terracook in the muffin pot, and the Guten Morg with his Crocomonium charter tinting fast, and a great primer was once for omnibus step rubric read out of the WordPress, else is there no virtue more in Alaparan, for that the rapt one warns, is this what papier is made of? Made of? Hides, and hints, and misses, and prints, till ye finally, though not yet end-like, meet with the acquaintance of Mr. Typus, Mistress Tope, and all the little Topopes, Philstop. So you need hardly spell me how every word will be bound over to carry the 10 topsicle readings throughout the book. Double ends joined, where his forehead be darkened with mud, who would sunder till daylight. Mayo Mahoma, who opted its closer, thereof the door, cry not yet, but many a smile to Nondum, city maids, Manser, and the park so dark by kindle light. Look what you have in your hand, self. The movables are scrawling in motions, marching, all of them ago, in pit-pat and zing-zang, for every busy, eerie wigs, a bit of a Tory tale we tell. One's upon a time, and two's behind their lettuce leaf, and three's among the scrubby beds, and the chicks pick their teas, and the donkey you began, you ask your ass if it believes it, and so Cuddy me only wallops have heels that one of a wife with faulty barnets. For then the age when hoops rang high, of a no arch and a chop wife, of a pommy full grave and a fanny of levity, or of golden youths that wanted gelding, or of what the mischievous made a man do. Mal married dad, he was raver so gas of her frasks, and her priory, May Fay. She's Legay, a snaky woman from the Tripieri, to expundum pellic, veil, Valentine eyes. She's the very best, Winnie blows, nay on good, flow in, flow an. Ho! So it's sure it was her, not we. But lay it easy, gentle mind. We are in rearing of a Noah wig. So weeny teeny, comes see, et wise et if newt. Listen, I am doing it. Hark, the corn entreats, and the lark notes prickles. It was of a night late lang time agone in an old thine eld when Adam was delving and his madamy in spinning water shilts, when Mulk, Mounty Snotty, was ever bully, and the first real river robber that ever had his Amy everbody, to his love-saking eyes and everbilly, to loathe with everybody else, and Jarl Van Hoover, as his burnt head high up in his lamp house, laying cold hands on himself. And his two little Jimimies, cousins of Orn, Trither, and Hilary, kick here in the dummy on the oilcloth, fleur of the Pommery, castle and earthen house, and be Dermot, who come to the keep of his inn, only the nigh of his in-law, the prank queen, and the prank queen pulls a rosy one, made his wit forninced the dower, And she lit up in fireland with a blaze, and spoke to the dow in a petty pensiony mark the ways. Why do I am a look alike pose of porter-peas. And that was how the skirmishes began. The dour hand worded his grace and douche shot to her grace and malice kin snapped up the Jiminy Christopher and into the shandy western as she rain, and Joel Van Hoover Wallace after her with soft gov scar. Stop, Deed, stop, come back to my ear and stop. She swarraded to him, unlike Hilaire Hood, and there was a branny whale. It was the same Sabbath night of falling angles somewhere in Erio, and the prank queen went for her 40 years walk in Torremonde, and she was washed. The blessings of the love spots of the Jiminy with soap, Suddles, and she had her 4 hours masters to torch him, his ticklers, and she cavorted him to the one shore all good and became a ludderman. So then she started to rain and be Red Tom, and she was back again at Jan von Hooper's in a brace of sailors, and the Jiminy within her pinafond lace at night at another time. And where did she come? But to the bar of his Bristol Inn. And John, and Joel Von Hoover had his bare thole, the bruised heels drowned in his Celamont, shaking warm hands with himself, and the Jiminy Hillary and Dunedin in their first infancy were below on the tear sheet, ringing, coughing, like Broder and Hitson, and the prank queen nipped a pally one and lit up again, and red cocks flew flackering from the hill cons, and she made her witter before the wicked saying, Mark the twy, why do I am a loop like 2 pots of porter-peas, and shut, says the wicked hand wording, her majesty. So, her majesty, a 4th port set down the Jiminy, and took up a Jiminy, and the lily pathways of Woman's land. She rain, and John Van Hoover bleathered a tear over the loud Finnegans. Stop, come back, with an earring stop. But the prank queen swallowed it, I'm liking it, and there was a wild old granny whale, the launchery night of star shooting somewhere in Erio, and the prank queen went for her 40 years walking eternally mean, and she punched the curses of the Crom Crewell with the nail of the top into the Jiminy, and she had 4 locks called monitrix to touch him in his tears, and she comforted him to the uncertain, all secure, and became a Tristian. So then she started raining, and in pair of changes bedomed her. She was back again at Joel Von Hoover's, and the Larry Hill with her under her bromate. And why would she halt at all, if not by the ward of his mansion home, with another nice lace of the third charm? And Joel Van Hoover had his hurricane hips up to his pantry box, ruminating in his hold 4 stomachs. Dare, oh dare, and the Jiminy took a tress and a dummy were below on the watercloth, kissing and spitting and roguing and pog-hooing like knave poultry and knave bride in their second infancy, and the prank queen picked a blank and lit out, and the valleys lay twinkling, and she made her wittest in front of the archway of triumph, asking, Mark the tris, why do I am a look like 3 pots of porter-peas, but there was how the skirmishes induced, like the camp bells, and coming with a 4 lace of lightning. Joel Von Hoover, Bonnegas, himself the old terror of the days, came hip-hop, handy-hat, out through the pike open dark way of his 3 shutting castles and his brewed ginger hat and his civic collar and his alaboof hemmed and his all bragging socks and gloves, and his Ladbroke breeks, and his catgut bandolier, and his fur-framed panicula, cumboats like a rud-yelling, rubline orange man, in his violet indignation, to the whole longeth of the strongeth of his bowman's bill, and he cloaked his rude hand to his easy hith, and his old under his thick speech, for her to shut up shop dappy, and the duppy shop shut up her codon squan bar gruri ago gori leo gwami granit squan huff rum dil the fate till the bummel and they all drank free. The one man in his armour was a fat match who was for any girls on to shut shirts. And that was the first piece of illiterate pottery in all the flamming, floody, flatulous world. How Kersey the tiler made a sweet unclose, the Nark wailing capital, saw forth shout, thou see, betun ye be, queen, was to hold her dummy ship, and the Jiminy's way to the peace wave in Van Hoover was to get the wind up. Thus the hearthsomeness of the burger felicitates the whole of the polis. O Phoenix culprit, ex Nicky Lau Mallow comes mickle mash Bonham Hill, real ones in company, billeted, best to be proud of, breast high, breast wide. Only for that they will not breathe upon, nor in sang of Arian, the secretest of the sorrowfulness, hoary silex, Humphrey, known swar, Undi, gentile festines, Livia, known swar, welcome cap, is on him, frowned, ordurant, eavesdrop, where it mouse at hand, where dim bottles in the far ear, murk, his veils are darkling with lip, she lippeth to him, all to time, of much of touch and throw on throw on throw, she did host, she had to laugh, hair flew, if you could bad twig her, in pulp and blunter ever he is, the sound waves of his buffeteers, they tromp him with their tromps, the wave of the rory and the wave of hoost and the wave of the hoard and the wave of the never heed, them horse sluggard and list tell to mine, lang bowed by his neighbour mistress and perpetrified in his offsprung sabres and suckers, the moaning pipers could tell him to his face back, the loudly one by whose loaves are devourers of how but for his whole halibut, or her to her peagy puff, the lillip, one whose live we drink at, how bith for a tiddlywink of a windfall, our breed, our washer givers. There would not be a holy spire on the town, nor a vestal flouting in the dock, made to make plain evals, nor a you, nor an I to play cash, nova, nillibud, by swamp light, nor a tool, a tall and noddy hint to the convenience. He dug in, and he dug out by the skill of his tilth for himself, and all belonging to him, and he sweated his crew beneath the auspice of from the living, and he earned his dread, the dragon volant, he made a louse for us, delivered us to bowl Whedon's domain, mighty liberator, Omfru, Shiptown, Uru, Wukru, and Big Atty did, our ancestor most worshipful, till he thought of a better one in his window's house with that blush mantle upon him, for ear-send to ear-send, and would again could whispering brassies wake him, and may again when the fiery bird Decembers, and will again, if so be, soothed by elder, to his youngers shall he said, have your wines for my wedding, did you bring bride and bedding, where you boot for my deeding, is a wake. You stew organ animu and all. Did you drink me dawn ale? Now be easy, good me Mr. Finnemore, sir, and take your leisure like a god on pension, and don't be walking abroad. Sure you'd only lose yourself in Heliopolis. Now the way, your roads and the Cape will master, and that the winding there after the Calvary, the Northumbrian, and the Fibs, Barrow, and Wadlings, raid, and the Bower and wet your feet maybe with the foggy dews abroad, meeting some sick or bankrupt or the Cotterick's donkey with his shoe hanging, chancra, or a slut snoring with an impure infant on a bench. It would turn you against life, so twould, and the weathers that mean to part from delving as hard as Nugent knew to leave the clean Tangleston, one looser than its neighbour, enfranchisable fields, but let your ghosts have no grievance. Better off so, where you are, prime-signed and full of your dress, bloody the waistcoat, and all, remembering your shapes and sizes on the pillow of your baby curls under your sycamore by the cowed water, where the Tories clay and scarred of varmints, and have you want, pouch, gloves, flask, briquet, kerchief, ring, and amber ruler, the whole treasure of the choir in the land of souls with Honin, and Brian, Baruch, and Pole, Ollie Lonan, and no bucket and Nosler, and the Ginnegis Khan, and will be coming here, the ombre players, to rake your gravel and presents, won't we, Finnegans? And it isn't our spittle, we stint of you. Is it druids, not shabby little imagettes, penny dirts and dodgy my eyes, you buy in the city stores, or offering of the field, the militaries, that Dr. Fayety, the Madison man, taught to gooden you, poppy paps, a passport out. And honey is the holiest thing ever, was hive, comb, and earwax, the food for glory. Mind you keep the pot of your next cup, may yield to light and some goat's milk. Sir, like the maid used to bring you, your fame is spreading like Balasco's ointment since the Fintan labours piped you overboard, and there's whole households beyond the Bothians. They're calling your names after you, and then he is always talking of you sitting around on the pig's cheeks, under the sacred roof top, over the bowels of memory, where every hollow holds a hallow with a pledge to the drengs and the salmon house, and admiring to the super shill lad, and the palm sweet on high is the mark of your monument. All the toothpicks, ever Arianese, Asians chewed on our chips checked from the battery block. If you were bowed and soiled and let down, itself in the Wona, with the load of the load it was the paddy planters, and white pack of plenty, and when you were underdone in every point, for the lapse of the goddesses you showed our labour lasses how to breathe was easy. The game, old gunny, they do be saying skull. There was a planter for you, the spicer of them all, Begog, but he was the god. He's Dudungu now, and we're apt to finding the swords of Sedek, but peace to his great limbs, the Bugog, the last league long rest of him, while the million candle eye of the Tusker, sweet Nolian maid. There was never a warlord in Gregariness and Bretland, no, nor in all Pike County like you, they say, no, nor a king nor an odd king, born king, son king, or und king, you could fell and Elm's tree 12 urchins come ring round and hoist high the stone that Liam failed. Who put the Mac and the rise of our fortunes and the funnier men and the funnel to the compass and our cause? If you were hoggle bully itself and most thrifty, like you were taking waters, still what or where was your light to lay the cable? Or who was the batter could better your grace? Nick, Mac, Magnus, and Macaulay can take you off the pure perfection, and Leaderbags, Reynolds tries to shuffle and cut. But as Hopkins and Hopkins put it, you were the pale Eggy Naggy, and a kiss to Tilly. We calls him the journey or Boogalog, since he went to Jerusalem faring in Arizia Manor. You had a gamier crock than Pete, Jake, or Martin, and your archgoose of geese stubbled all angels' day. So the priest of 7 worms and scalding table will Papa Vestre come never near you as your hair grows, wheater, beside the lithies that in heaven. Hep, hep, hurrah! There, hero, 7 times Thirto, we salute you. The whole bag of kits, falcon plumes and jack boots, inclotted was where you flung them that time. Your heart is the system of the she-wolf, and your crested head is in the tropic of Capricorn. Your feet are in the cloister of Virgo. Your Alola is the region of Sathals, and your Ashura as you were born. You shook ticks well, and let this Texas in tow grin. The loathsome Ronic Laviat is ended. Drop in your tracks, babe, be not unrested. The head body watcher of the Kempel of Isid, totem calm saith, I know thee, Metajar, know thee, salvation boat, for we have performed upon thee, thou Abraham nation, who comest ever without being invoked, whose coming is unknown. All the things which the company of the precentors and the grammarians of Christ Patrick's ordered concerning thee in the matter of the work of thy toming, how of the shipman, Steepthorne. Everything's going on the same, or so it appeals to all of us in the old homestead here. Coughings all over the sanctuary, bad scram to me and Florenza. The horn for breakfast, one no gone for lunch and dinner chime. As possible when Belly the First was king and his members met in the diet of man. The same shop slop in the window, Jacob's letter cracks and Dr. Tipple's Vi cocoa and Esward's dissipated soup, beside Mother Seagull's syrup. Meat took a drop when Riley Parsons failed. Coal's short, but with plenty of bog in the yard, and barley's up again. Be grain to it. The lads is attending school lessons regular, sir, spelling, beats knees with half and C, and turning out tables by mud application, all for the books. And never pegging smashes after Tom Bow, Glass Arse, or Timmy the Tosser. 'Tis really the truth. No, it isn't. Roman Pathorix, you were the double-jointed janitor, the morning they were the delivered, and you be the grandfather yet, entirely when the right hand sizes from the love on nose. Kevin's just a dote with his cherub cheek, chalking ogres on walls, and his little lamp, and school belt and bag of nicks, playing postman's knock round the diggings. And if the seat were milk, you could live his old by his head. But louse sake, the devil does be in the curbs of the Jerry sometimes. The Tarantan playboy making encoastive income out of the last of his lavings and writing a blue streak over the board-stay shirt. Hetty James, the child of Mary, she'll be coming, for they're sure to choose her in her white of gold, with a torch of ivy to rekindle the flame of Felix Day. But Essie Shenian has let down her skirts. You remember Essie in our Luna's convent? He called her Holly Mary with lips so Woodberry and Pia P. Pure Belly with the red miners. Riots was on about her. Were I a clerk designate to the William Woods manufacturers, I post those powders on every jam in the town. She's making her rep at Lanny's twice nightly with the tamatamas, the whirly gimmages, beats the cashusha flat, says would delay your heart to go. Aisy now, you decent man, with your knees and lie quiet, and repose your honour's lordship. Hold him here, Ecazil irons, and may God strengthen you. It's our warm spirits, boys. He's sporing Demetrius O'Flanagan Cork, that cure for the clan parties. You swamped enough since Portobello to float the Pomeroy. Fetch me here, Pat Coy, and fetch no you, Pam Yates, beneath the angst of Rich. Here's Lumbus, where's Misty's, Swaddle where Mishka's lodge none, where mysteries pour kind on O sleepy. So be yet. I've an eye on queer Bayhane and old Kate and the butter, trust me. She'll do no juggly-wuggly with her war souvenir postcards to help build me mural tippers. I'll tip your traps. I saw a shore fare, and we put on your clock again, sir, for you. Did or didn't we? Share stutterers. So you won't be up a stump entirely, nor shed your remnants. The stern wheels crawling along, strong. I've seen your missus in the hall, like the Queen know thee. It's herself that's fine. Too, don't be talking. Shirks hands. Your story and Harry chap longer. Me, Harry chap, story and grass woman. Plethy good trout shakes hands, dibble, the hay forks brought with her only the Lex Sally, bold, Tib Tuzzy yawning, and smirking cat's owls on the Polksy's woolly round. Tabatesh gushing, washing her skill, sewing a dream together. The tailor's daughter, stitched to her last, or while waiting for winter to find the enchantment, decoying more nesters to fall down the flue. It's an Allen Vonch that blows no pussy food. If you only were there to explain the meaning, best of men, and talk to her nice of golden salver, the lips would moisten again, once again, as when you drove with her to Fillandry Fair. What with reins here and ribbons, they're all your hands. You're employed so she never knew, was she on land or at sea, or sweep through the blue like Airwinger's bride. She was flirtsome, and then she's fluttersome. She can a second a song, and adores a scandal. When the last post gone by, found of a concertina, and pairs passing, when she's had her 40 winks for supper after cane a cannon from Aberley, dimpling, and there's in her Merlin chair a sort of reading her evening world. To see is it smarts full lengths of or swaggers, news, all the news, death, a leopard kills fella in Fez, angry scenes at storm out, still a star, with a lucky in going aways, opportunity fair with the China floods, and we hear those rosy rumours, ding tams, he noise about all same Harry chap, she's seeking her way, a chuckle, in out of their serial story, Les Loves of Selkser, here her bench freely adapted to the Norwegians' bib. There'll be bluebells blowing and salty sulpatures the night she signs her final tear. The end, but that's a world of ways away, till tracks law time, no silver ash or switches for that one. while flattering candles flare. Anastasies, how are you? Worthy a waste, noblest, says Adams and Sons. The woodplay actioneers, her hair's as brown as ever it was, and withy and wavy, repose you now, fin no more, for that beast namesake, substitute of a hooky salmon. There's already a big roddy ram lad at random the premises of his haunt on the Hungred Bordels, as it told me, shop illicit, flourishing like a Lord Major or a poor boy Benioboom, litting flop a deadlock, a loose to leave but for lifting a ben branch a yard along. Ivo, the breeze aside, for show, the height of Brewster's chimney, as broke below as Phineas Barnum offering his share of the Southers in second on him. He's such a grand faller with a pocket wife and a pickle that's a fly fire and a 3 lice nittle clinkers, 2 twilling bugs and 1 midget pucil, and either recurse them was ever seen doing what your 4-footers saw as he was never done, seeing what your cool pigeons know, weep the clouds a boon for smile down witnesses, and that'll do now about the fairy he's and the fraily she's, though East Fibble is to the Zebra and hearts a zoom round to heavens forever. Creator, he is created for his creatured one is a creation, white monothoid, red theatrocrat, and all the pink prophets, cohalescing very much so. But however 'twas to sure for one thing, what Sheriff Torrig voucher fors a man puts out, the man Hugh, the cheapener-esque overseeing, as we thought him yet a worthy of the name, came at the times-coloured place where we lived in our parochial firmament, one tide of another, with a bum rush in a hall, the wherry, the twin turban, the how, the bay for dibbling, the archipelago's first visiting schooner, with a wicklow pattern, wax and wrench in her prow for a figurehead, the Dead Sea, dug on, it dripping from his depths, and has been re-preaching himself like a fishmummer, like 60-10 years ever since. He is Shebby by his side, Addy in aid, growing Orish under the Durban, and changing cane sugar into cellulose starch. Tea-tut says to him, as also that bait in the bulky hoodie bloats about when inabated. Our old offender was humour commune and sectuous from his nature, which you may gauge after the bynames was put under him in lashons of languages, Honian, suit, and praises be, and totalizating him, ever Hammersham of Hamersham, that he's sober serious. He is he and no counter, he who will be ultimately responsible for the hubby-hub caused in Edinburgh. That's part 1, end of part 1. Be sure to go to robertbridge.mobi and we'll continue part 2 very shortly.